All right, YouTube, back with another video. This one is flip bike number 22. This is a 2007 Suzuki LTZ-250 again. Very similar to the last one I had, the double dip flip. And this one I picked up for $1,700. The seller was asking 23. He was actually up north working and said if I promised to come and pick it up, he would give it to me for 19. So I said, sure, sounds like a deal. Give me a time and date and I'll be there. So we set something up for the next day and I messaged him that I was gonna head out. He's messaged me back stating he couldn't get it started, that he was gonna try jumping it off his truck. And I said, not an issue, I'm headed your way. He proceeded to message me shortly after that, stating that it wouldn't stay running, but he did get it started. So I said, not an issue once again, and I proceeded to head that way. I got there, and he had it jumped off his truck. Thing barely wanted to stay running, but it did crank over, it did start up for a little bit. It was leaking fuel out the carb overflow, which is pretty typical of any bike if it sits for a while. Anyway, this one had black wheels that someone painted black. I stripped those clean with the citrus strip. If you guys are looking for a good paint remover, I definitely recommend citrus strip. All right, I'm gonna strip all this black paint off this flip bike. It just looks like shit. It's all peeling up. I put it in bags because it seems to work better, especially when it's cold. Just kind of keeps the humidity in there, keeps it moist. So we'll see how these turn out after I power wash them. Hopefully this thing will be set up for tomorrow and I can clean it all up and get them all taken care of. But someone painted them front and back black, so let's get this crap off of there. I hate when people do that. If you're gonna want black rims, just buy black rims. As you can see how it just chips off, flakes off. It looks like crap. So let's see what it turns out when it's done. I mean, I've done it many times before, so I'm sure it'll be all right. All right, so the goal is to get all this black paint off. I let these sit overnight in a garbage bag. It keeps the humidity in there, the moisture in there. And I mean, you can see it pretty much does the trick. So this shit should just peel right off. Not a problem. I mean, I could probably just scrape it off, but I'm gonna power wash all these and get this crap off of there. Citrus strip, it's really good shit. It does work better if you can keep it in a humid environment to keep it moist. So I put all the tires, wheels in the bag, in a garbage bag, and sealed it up, and it works a lot better that way. But completely went through this thing, and we did tires, we did grips, we did a decal kit, flushed the brake fluid, changed the rear diff fluid, oil change, spark plug, air filter, and I did put a new fuel petcock on here just to be safe. And this thing fires right up. It's just like the other one. You just come over here, turn the key, and one little bump and it's running. So definitely a good bike. If you guys are looking for a smaller bike for your kids, I definitely recommend these 250s. They are great bikes. Don't have any issues with them except when they sit, typical carburetor issues. But once again, that is with any bike. The only other thing I had to do was put my son's takeoff exhaust on this one. Someone had cut the whole back tip off there, so I didn't have a spark arrestor. And in Arizona, you definitely need a spark arrestor if you're gonna go out trail riding, because if game and fish catch you without a spark arrestor in the forest, you're gonna be fined. So I went ahead and just used my son's, since he's already got a DG exhaust on his, won't ever go back to the stock. And if we do sell the bike, I'll probably just end up selling the bike with it, or maybe down the road I will find another stock exhaust. But this one is ready to go. Like I said, I picked this one up for 1,700 bucks. And I've got With everything said and done, so the bike was 17, so grips, tires, decals, and a fuel petcock along with the battery came out to $415.48. I put a spark plug in there for $4.12. Carb kit was $29.95. Air filter was $13.01 for a total of $53.01 on those parts. And the grand total was $2162.56. So $2,162.56, including the bike. Not bad. And I do have this posted up for $3,500 OBO. Like I said, the other one I did get $32 for. I didn't really do much to that one, but my goal is always at least $1,000 profit. I try to get as close to that as possible. So it's posted up for $3,500. That way we can reach our $1,000 goal. But she runs great. She looks a lot better than she did. And I think we'll get her sold. I got a lot of looky-loos and I got a lot of people lowballing me at $2,000. I had one guy offer me $3,000. I told him $3,250 is my bottom dollar. Honestly, this bike is worth it for what shape it's in and everything on here that is new. There's a lot of guys selling bikes similar to this, yellow, sun faded, needs a bunch of work for right around $2,000 to $2,500. So if someone wants to buy a cheaper bike, they can learn the hard way and put the time and money into it. And ultimately, you'll end up coming out right around $3,300, I'm sure of it. I did look at another bike that was a 2008 250, and the kid was not very honest. He said that he was just riding the bike and it just quit working, quit running, so they towed him back. I went out and looked at it. Him and his buddy were just like, oh yeah, you know, it's not the engine, it's probably just a carburetor or whatnot. And supposedly the kid had a title for it, so I was all prepared to spend $900 on it. Either way, I could have parted it out or fixed it and flipped it, but everything was just telling me not to buy it. I stood there for like 20 minutes waiting for him to find the title. He couldn't find it. His buddy was out there. He was like, he said 10 more minutes. And the kid never ended up finding the title because I left. And I just told his buddy to have him message me when he found the title because I had other stuff to do. So he went and pulled a new title. It was in his aunt's name. And he didn't even bring a title. He just brought like the bill of sale paperwork. And when I went to look at the bill of sale paperwork and match the VIN on the bike, the numbers were not the same. It was different. I mean, they were close, but they were different, so I don't know what happened there. And the paper kind of looked like it was like fax paper or something. It was really thin paper, so at that point, you know, I told him that the numbers don't match. I can't purchase this bike unless the numbers match. And he's like, well, let me see if my aunt's around or available and we can go get this taken care of. And he went inside. I popped the seat off, looked in the air box. There was no air filter in there. And I guarantee that engine was toast at that point. Everything told me not to buy this bike. This was the second time I had been out there. And I wasn't going to make a third trip for something that did not start, did not run. And I was taking all the risk of buying a bike that did not run. So I left and he said, well, if you can come back at 5, I can go get this title taken care of. And I said, you know, I think at this point, I'm really not interested unless you want to sell it to me for $300 because when I pulled the airbox cover off, there was no air filter and I'm pretty sure that engine probably needs a complete overhaul. Rings, valve, anything inside the engine was probably just full of dirt. So I told him, if you still want to sell it down the road for 300 bucks, I'll come get it, but I'm not giving you a penny more. And I just left it at that. Haven't heard from the kid. I mean, he was really close to getting 900 bucks in his pocket, but I just had second thoughts when I started looking into it, and just everything about it, as far as him not having the title in hand and ready. And then I came back and the title wasn't a physical title. It was just like a bill of sale paperwork, and the numbers didn't match. So I just didn't trust the kid. So I just left, pretty much told him I wasn't interested anymore unless he wants to sell it for 300 bucks. Cause at this point it's just a parts bike. So that is that, but I did find this one. Instead, I did pay a little bit more, but I did know it ran. I did know it started, and here we are. So let's get this one sold and get this one in the books. And I will get back to the 400 this week. I got it taken apart here, working slowly on it, kind of dragging my butt, but I do have all the parts. So stay tuned for some more videos on the 400, and I will see you soon.